Hey, I'm Oliver. I'm 34, and if you'd asked me a year ago, I would have told you my life was pretty much perfect. Great job? Check. Beautiful wife? Check. A cozy home in the suburbs? Double check. I thought I had it all figured out. Catherine, or Kate as I called her, was my everything. We met in college, smart, funny, and gorgeous. Marrying her felt like hitting the jackpot. For 6 years we had a good thing going, or so I thought. But here's the thing about life. It has a way of pulling the rug out from under you when you least expect it. Looking back, I guess the first red flag was how much time Kate suddenly started spending at the gym. And look, I get it, fitness is important. But Kate had never been the gym rat type. She used to joke that her idea of exercise was lifting a wine glass to her lips. So when she signed up for a membership and started going religiously, I didn't think much of it at first. I was actually kind of proud. Good for her, I thought. But then the little things started piling up. Like how she'd come home glowing, not in the I just worked out kind of way, but in the I just got a compliment from someone who isn't my husband kind of way. Or how she suddenly started caring about what she wore to the gym. One day, I found her Googling best leggings for squats. I mean, what the hell? Kate never cared about stuff like that before. Still, I brushed it off. I told myself, you're being paranoid, Oliver. People are allowed to have hobbies. But then came the late-night showers. I want to clarify. She started showering too often, like a raccoon. Kate used to be a morning shower kind of person, like most normal people. Suddenly, she'd get home from the gym and head straight for the bathroom. Gotta rinse off the sweat, she'd say. Sure, makes sense, right? One more little note. The fitness club had a shower room, and Kate showered there too. Well, at least she took all the necessary things for showering with her. And then there was her phone. Oh, her damn phone, always glued to her hand, like it was surgically attached. She'd laugh at texts and quickly lock the screen when I walked into the room. What's so funny? I'd ask casually. Just a meme Erica sent me, she'd reply, naming her best friend, like that would throw me off the trail. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Now I'll admit, I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to be that guy, the suspicious, jealous husband. So, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Until the day I caught a whiff of cologne on her when she got home. And let me tell you, it wasn't mine. That cologne? It hit me like a ton of bricks. Not mine, not hers, and definitely not from the air freshener in her car. I didn't say anything at first. What could I say? Hey honey, why do you smell like some dude? Yeah, that wasn't going to fly. So, I just nodded when she mumbled something about a new deodorant sample from the gym. Right. But from that moment, my radar was up. And the signs? Oh, they started coming in hot. First, there were the extra sessions with her trainer William. Now I didn't even know she had a personal trainer until she casually dropped his name over dinner one night. Oh, William said I'm really improving on my squats, she said with a sly smile. William? I asked, raising an eyebrow. Yeah, my trainer. He's great. You'd like him, she said, stabbing her salad with way too much enthusiasm. Would I like him? I doubted it. Then there were the changes in her routine. Kate used to be predictable, work, home, gym, repeat. But suddenly, her schedule was full of networking happy hours, girls' nights, and my personal favorite, errands. Errands at 8 p.m. on a Thursday? Sure, Kate. Seems legit. One night, I decided to test the waters. She was getting ready for one of her mysterious outings, spritzing on perfume like she was about to walk the red carpet. Where you off to? I asked, leaning against the bedroom doorframe. Oh, just a quick drink with Erica, she said, not even looking at me as she fixed her hair in the mirror. Cool, say hi to her for me, I said, keeping my voice casual. She froze for a split second, just long enough for me to notice, then turned with a tight smile. Of course. Don't wait up. That night, I did wait up. But not for her. For her phone. When she got home, she tossed her bag onto the couch and went straight to the bathroom. Perfect. Her phone was sitting on the kitchen counter, and for the first time in months, it wasn't locked. Rookie mistake, Kate. I grabbed it, my hands shaking like I was defusing a bomb. And what did I find? A string of texts from William Jim. Yeah, she didn't even bother giving him a fake name. The messages were revealing to say the least. Lots of winking emojis, inside jokes, and the kicker. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Last meeting was amazing. Amazing? What the hell was amazing about squats? I wanted to confront her right then and there. I wanted to march into the bathroom, hold up her phone, and demand answers. But something stopped me. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was the voice in my head saying, "Don't lose your cool, Oliver. Play the long game." So I did. I put her phone back where I found it, went to bed, and pretended I didn't know a damn thing. If Kate thought she was playing me, she had no idea who she was up against. The next morning, Kate acted like everything was normal, like she wasn't sneaking around with her glorified squat coach. She kissed me on the cheek before leaving for work, smiling as if she didn't have a care in the world. It was almost impressive. Almost. But I had a plan. If she thought she was being clever, I'd be smarter. Cooler. 10 steps ahead. First, I got some advice. Not from friends, because let's be honest, people love to gossip, and I wasn't about to give Kate the upper hand. Instead, I found a lawyer. Scott was a no-nonsense kind of guy, the kind of person you'd want on your side in a bar fight, or a divorce. "So what's the situation?" Scott asked, leaning back in his chair as he clicked a pen. "My wife's cheating," I said bluntly. He didn't flinch. "Do you have proof?" "Working on it." He nodded like he'd heard this 100 times before. "Here's what you do. Gather evidence. Texts, photos, anything you can. Don't confront her yet. The less she knows, the better. And for God's sake, don't lose your temper. Stay calm, stay focused, and let me handle the rest." Next, I got to work. Literally. I set up cameras in the house, small ones, hidden in places Kate would never think to look. Living room, kitchen, even the hallway near our bedroom. And for good measure, I added a GPS tracker to her car. Was it invasive? Absolutely. Did I care? Not even a little. The first few days, nothing happened. On the third day of recording, I hit the jackpot. There she was, sitting on the couch, casually scrolling through her phone after the gym. Then her expression changed, more animated, almost flirty. She started talking, and I turned up the volume. "Yeah, I can be there around 1, she said, smiling. "You better not keep me waiting." There was a pause, and then she laughed softly. "Okay, see you there." She hung up, grabbed her bag, and left. I checked my phone. The GPS tracker on her car showed she was heading downtown. I didn't waste a second. I told my boss I had an emergency and bolted out of the office. I trailed her car from a safe distance, my heart pounding the whole way. The tracker made it easier, but I still felt like I was in some kind of spy movie. Eventually, she pulled into the parking lot of a small motel. You know, the type of place where nobody asks questions. I parked across the street and watched as Kate stepped out of her car. She wasn't alone. William was there, gym bag slung over his shoulder like this was just another workout session. They laughed as they walked inside together, completely oblivious to me sitting there, snapping photos from my car. An hour later they came out. Kate's hair was a little messier, and William had this smug grin on his face that made my blood boil. I snapped more pictures as they said their goodbyes in the parking lot. No hugs, no kisses. Smart. They were trying to keep it low-key. Too bad for them, I already had everything I needed. By the time I got home, I felt numb. Angry, yes, but mostly just numb. It was like the person I thought I knew, the woman I'd loved for years, was a complete stranger. But there was no time for self-pity. I had work to do. First, I compiled everything. The GPS logs, the photos, even the recorded phone conversation. Then I called my lawyer, Scott. When I showed him the evidence, he whistled low under his breath. "Well," he said, "this should make things pretty straightforward. Are you ready to confront her?" "Not yet," I said. "There's one more thing I need to take care of first." "What's that?" "William." Before you find out what happens next, please subscribe to the channel. Now that I had proof of Kate's affair, my next target was William. If he thought he could mess with my life and get away with it, he had another thing coming. The guy wasn't just a cheating accomplice, he was a professional fitness trainer. Sleeping with a client wasn't just unethical, it could ruin his entire career. And I intended to make sure it did. Revenge wasn't just about justice, it was about precision. First, I found his Instagram. Of course, it was exactly what I expected. Endless gym selfies, motivational quotes, and thirst traps disguised as fitness advice. But what really caught my eye was the comments section. Women. Lots of women, clients, fans, admirers. Each one feeding his ego like it was leg day for his narcissism. That's when an idea hit me. I remembered a popular blogger I followed, someone who loved calling out shady influencers and exposing their nonsense. His name was Cole, and his following was massive. People ate up his takedowns like popcorn at a movie theater. If anyone could drag William's name through the mud, it was him. So, I sent Cole a message. Short, sweet, and to the point. Hey Cole, I've got a story you might be interested in. There's this fitness trainer who's been sleeping with his married clients, including my wife. I've got receipts, photos, texts, the whole deal. Think you can shine a spotlight on this guy? Let me know, and I'll send over the evidence. To my surprise, Cole responded within the hour. Send it all. This could be gold, he wrote. I forwarded everything I had. The photos of William and Kate at the motel, screenshots of their texts, even links to his Instagram posts where he was soaking up attention from his admirers. Cole thanked me, and by the next morning, the internet was on fire. Cole posted a video titled, Exposing a Shady Fitness Trainer, Sleeping with Clients and Ruining Marriages, and tagged William and the gym. In the video, Cole laid out the entire story, complete with dramatic pauses and plenty of screenshots. The comment section was brutal. Wow, what a scumbag. Isn't this against gym ethics? Fire him already. This is why I don't trust trainers. By the end of the day, Cole's posts had gone viral, William's Instagram was flooded with angry comments, and the gym's official account was tagged hundreds of times by people demanding answers. Meanwhile, I was handling things on my end. I called Scott, my lawyer, and told him to prepare the divorce papers. I wasn't going to waste another second pretending this marriage could be saved. Scott assured me we'd make it quick and clean, but he also gave me some advice about our finances. You need to move fast, he said. If she catches wind of the divorce, she might try to claim part of the bank account. You don't want her walking away with a dime. So, I did what I had to do. I opened a separate account under my name and transferred most of the money out of our joint account. I left enough to avoid suspicion, but not enough for Kate to think she could get comfortable. It was cold, but fair. After all, she'd been planning her betrayal for months. I was just leveling the playing field. By the time I was done, William's reputation was in tatters. The gym issued a vague statement about conduct investigations, but I already knew the damage was done. He'd become the internet's latest villain, and there was no coming back from that. Now, all that was left was confronting Kate. When I got home that night, it was late, almost midnight. I'd spent the entire day meeting with Scott, setting up my new bank account, and making sure everything was in place for the divorce. As far as Kate knew, I was just working late, as usual. The second I walked through the door, though, I could tell something was off. The lights were on in every room, and I could hear her pacing around upstairs. Then I heard it. Her voice, loud and panicked, followed by the sound of something crashing to the floor. Oliver, is that you? She called out as soon as she heard the door shut. Her voice was shaky, almost desperate. Yeah, it's me, I said calmly, setting my bag down and walking into the living room. What's going on? Kate came running down the stairs, her face red and blotchy like she'd been crying for hours. Her phone was clutched in one hand, and she looked like she was on the verge of a breakdown. It's all over the internet, she shrieked, waving her phone in the air. Someone made a video about William and they're saying I'm involved with him. This has to be some kind of prank, right? Some sick joke. I leaned against the wall, crossing my arms. A prank? I said, raising an eyebrow. Does it feel like a joke to you? Her mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. I don't know. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? Why would someone do this? I don't even... She froze mid-sentence, her eyes narrowing as the realization hit her. Wait, did you do this? She asked, her voice dropping to a whisper. I didn't answer right away. Instead, I reached into my pocket, pulled out my phone, and opened the folder labeled Evidence. I tossed it onto the coffee table in front of her. Take a look, I said coldly. Kate hesitated, her hands trembling as she picked up the phone. She scrolled through the photos of her and William at the motel, the screenshots of their texts, and the GPS logs. The more she saw, the paler she became. You followed me? She stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. Followed you? No, Kate, I said, my tone dripping with sarcasm. I just accidentally happened to be at the same motel at the same time, taking pictures of my wife and her trainer sneaking out after an hour. Total coincidence. Her face crumpled as tears started streaming down her cheeks. Oliver, I can explain. Please, just let me explain. Oh, this should be good, I said, sitting down on the couch and gesturing for her to continue. Go ahead, Kate. Tell me how this is all a big misunderstanding. She dropped to her knees in front of me, grabbing my hands like that would somehow erase everything. It wasn't serious. It was stupid, okay? I felt neglected, and William was just there. It didn't mean anything, I swear. I yanked my hands away. Didn't mean anything? So the texts, the motel, the 6 months of sneaking around, that was all meaningless? Do you think I'm stupid, Kate? No, I swear I love you, she cried. I just made a mistake, a huge mistake. Please, Oliver, I'll do anything to fix this. I let out a bitter laugh. Anything, huh? Like what? Another trip to the motel with William to sort things out. She flinched like I'd slapped her. It wasn't like that, she sobbed. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just lost. Lost? I snapped, standing up. You weren't lost, Kate. You were reckless, selfish. You destroyed this marriage the second you decided I wasn't enough for you. For a moment she just sat there sobbing into her hands. Then she looked up at me, her expression shifting from despair to desperation. We can go to counseling, she pleaded. I'll quit the gym, block William, whatever you want. Just don't leave me. I stared at her, shaking my head. Counseling won't fix this, Kate. You didn't just cheat. You lied, manipulated, and humiliated me. And now the whole world knows. You think I'm going to stay after that? But the video, the internet. Oliver, people are going to see it, she whimpered. Everyone's going to think I'm some horrible person. I shrugged, picking up my phone. Maybe you should have thought about that before you started sleeping with your trainer. Actions have consequences, Kate. Welcome to yours. She broke down completely, curling up on the floor in a mess of tears and apologies. But I didn't feel sorry for her, not one bit. I was done. I've already spoken to a lawyer, I said, my voice steady. The divorce papers will be ready soon. You've got 2 weeks to figure out where you're going to live, because you're not staying here. She looked up at me, her face a mix of shock and horror. You can't just throw me out, she said weakly. Watch me, I replied, heading upstairs to pack a bag. I wasn't going to spend another night under the same roof as her. The internet can be a brutal place, and for Kate and William, it turned into their personal hell. Cole's video exposing William as a trainer with benefits went viral within days. The comment section was relentless. Gross. Who even hires this guy? Sleeping with clients? That's beyond unprofessional. Kate deserves this shame. Poor husband. It wasn't just the video. Memes started popping up everywhere. Screenshots of William's gym selfies captioned with things like, working on relationships, with other people's wives. Kate wasn't spared either. A particularly brutal post showed a clip of her and William at the motel with the caption, gym membership, $50, personal trainer, 100-hour, ruining your marriage, priceless. Kate deleted all her social media accounts within a week. The flood of comments and messages was too much for her to handle. William, on the other hand, tried to defend himself in a now-deleted Instagram post, claiming the accusations were exaggerated. That only made things worse. People dug up more dirt, including other women he'd allegedly been involved with. His gym fired him by the end of the month, and his reputation in the fitness community was destroyed. No one wanted to hire a trainer who couldn't keep it in his pants. Meanwhile, I stayed quiet and focused on the divorce. Kate, of course, tried everything to stop it. She begged, cried, and even pulled the classic, "We've been through so much together" card. But I wasn't having it. "Oliver, please," she said one night, standing in the kitchen with tears streaming down her face. "We can work through this. I made a mistake, but I still love you." "Kate," I said, my voice cold, "if you loved me, you wouldn't have spent the last 6 months sneaking off to motels with William. Love doesn't look like that." She tried to argue, but the divorce papers were already in motion. Scott made sure everything was airtight. In the end, Kate got a small piece of the house, not because I wanted her to, but because the law said she was entitled to it. The rest, she got nothing. No share of my savings, no second chance. When the divorce was finalized, Kate looked like a ghost. She barely spoke as the judge wrapped things up, her once proud demeanor now replaced with shame and regret. As we left the courthouse, she turned to me one last time. "Oliver," she whispered, her voice trembling, "I'm sorry for everything." I nodded, but said nothing. Her apology didn't matter anymore. The damage was done. Life after the divorce was complicated. William tried to bounce back, but the internet never forgets. His name became synonymous with unprofessional behavior, and the only clients he could find were people who hadn't seen Cole's video. Eventually he faded into obscurity, his once promising career in ruins. Kate disappeared from public life entirely. No social media, no updates from mutual friends, nothing. I heard she moved in with a relative to escape the constant judgment and humiliation. For someone who used to love the spotlight, the silence was deafening. As for me, I started rebuilding. It wasn't easy at first. There were days when the anger and betrayal felt like a weight I couldn't shake, but I refused to let it define me. I threw myself into work, spent more time with friends, and even considered joining a gym. But every time I thought about stepping into one, the memories of Kate and William made my skin crawl. So, I went in a different direction. Boxing. There was something cathartic about it, about hitting a bag and letting all the frustration out. It wasn't just exercise, it was therapy. Looking back, I realized that losing Kate wasn't the tragedy I thought it was. It was freedom. The freedom to start over, to rediscover who I was without her lies holding me back. And for the first time in years, I felt like I was finally living for myself. If you enjoyed the story, please subscribe to the channel. I wish you a great mood and good luck.